For a moment, notice how this is embodying self-care. It might feel authentic, like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm really giving myself a hug in a caring way. And it might not. It might feel a bit like, oh God, I don't want to do this. Let's get on with something else. It might feel a bit sad, a bit strange. Also notice how it is when you come out. So these are key aspects of the method that we bring with the postures. It's becoming mindful of the body, how something feels in the body, whether it's familiar or unfamiliar, whether we're doing something new that maybe we need a bit more of in our lives, maybe something we already do a lot of, and then perhaps another posture might be more useful. All of these postures are helping us to find ways to change or to more fully inhabit how we want to be in the world in relationship to ourselves and others. They're ways to thrive, not just survive. So generally speaking, many of us are more conditioned and also find it easier to give than receive. A compliment might brush off, we might feel uncomfortable receiving generosity, really taking it in. So with the example of a compliment, how often do we say, oh, it's nothing, or oh, it's because someone else taught me this, or it wasn't just me, it was the team. We kind of don't fully take in the lovely compliment we've just been given. It falls a bit flat. I'm going to do this practice standing. It's giving and receiving posture, 2 of the 26 postures in the toolkit. You can also do it seated. And then giving pose, I like to think about giving from the heart. So we can start with our hands on our heart. I think I just hit my mic then, so I'll stay a bit lower. Hands on the heart can be helpful. And we can think of a situation in our life or a person in our life that we like to give to, or in a context that we like to be giving, where maybe we would like to be more generous or more resourced, to be kind, to be in service. Maybe it's something you're doing later today, working and maybe feeling a bit reluctant to get going today. And then taking a small step forward, a kind of normal step forward so you stay balanced. And if you're sitting down, you can just put one foot a bit more forward of the other. The back foot can turn out a little for balance. And then as you breathe out, you can bend your front knee a little bit or slightly come forwards in your seat. And then extend the arms forwards, the palms open. You can lift your chest a little bit. So there's an openness. The heart area is coming forwards. Sense of openness. The hands. And if you feel like your back foot is very light, or you're losing balance, or your head is very far forwards like this, then you're demonstrating kind of over-giving. That might be a habit, or it might be that you missed an instruction, which is okay. If we over-give, it gets exhausting. So we need to balance with receiving. So to receive, we can take our weight on the back foot a bit more, bend the back knee, bring the elbows in, bring the fingers together as if we're supporting what we've just been given. Like it might be a box with a present, a tray with a cake on it. I've just received that. And notice how that feels in the body, familiar or unfamiliar. And you can switch a couple of times. Contrast is another principle we work with. And perhaps a sense of, oh yeah, I'm much more used to one than the other in a particular context. So you could explore this with work, with relationships, intimacy, sexuality. And it might be much less comfortable to receive in a certain context than it is in the other. So you could bring one to mind, giving a lot at work. How would it be to receive more support from your boss or your colleagues? How would it be to ask for more support? Accept more support. We can ask lots of questions around this. For example, what am I not giving to myself? What do I need to give more or less of in terms of self-care, in terms of balance? How am I out of balance with these two ways of being, giving and receiving? What do I want to receive? What do I want to ask for? So there are just a few questions you could ponder, maybe after the session. So having a look at the posture. So if you feel a little sad, really, maybe again, place a hand on your heart or your belly. Notice the sadness. Take a few breaths, and however you feel, we can always do that, a little moment of connection. This is kind of a micro version of self-care pose. And we can set an intention to start to gently work with this, to be kinder to ourselves. As I say in my self-compassion trainings, we don't have to put ourselves above others, but perhaps consider ourselves at least as equally deserving of being happy and well and having some time to do the things I love, some time to take care of ourselves. So, yeah, these postures, and a bit of a recap, can be explored for self-care in lots of different ways, around boundaries, around balance, around promoting our own well-being and happiness alongside the well-being and happiness of the people we love, the people we're in service to. We can explore generosity, life purpose, making sure we don't burn out, sacrifice. Sometimes we do want to sacrifice something, but how do we balance that with keeping ourselves well as we can be? Practice of washing our hands tenderly or using something like hand cream, which is lovely. So often there's kind of a gentle support holding the hand. Often a micro self-care pose can be, like I said, it could be hand on heart, hand on belly, or a gentle touch, like you might if you're sitting with someone who's upset or needs a bit of support. Like you might do that, or you might stroke their hand. Very soothing. Our hands have so many nerve endings. It can be lovely to do something like this, to bring ourselves some TLC, some tender loving care, making it worse. And that can also be quite empowering to discover, actually, I can do things just slightly differently, and I might feel 1% better by the end of the day. So also noticing for yourself what works.